Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ASTRA, the daily current affairs from the Hindu. So this is Dhanunjayareddy bringing you the current affairs for the day. So this is going to be extremely important for UPSC, be it prelims as well as for mains. The newspapers that we are following is the Hindu, primarily, more or less. So we are confining it to the Hindu unless and until there are some exceptional articles in some Indian Express, that too for some optional students. We are going through it. So Indian Express will be the secondary source of reference, but primary source is the Hindu, where UPSC will also be fixing majority of the questions from this itself. So let's start with the current affairs for the day. Today it is 24th of September 2025. Let's have a look at what are the current affairs that we have in today's current affairs as far as UPSC is considered. So to start with, so you can download this screen photographs from the Telegram channel that we have given in the link below. Right, let's start without much wasting our time. So on this Monday, United Nations General Assembly meeting has started, annual meeting has started. So in context of this, the President of United States, Mr. Trump, has been addressing the assembly, and he has said that India and China are primarily funders for Russian war. So he claimed that India and China are the primary funders of the so-called Russian energy, because India and China are importing Russian energy. As a result, we are paying money to Russia, and through that, this is like sponsoring the war that Russia is doing on Ukraine. So as a result, he again reiterates that he has imposed tariffs ranging from 25 to 50% on China and 50% extra penalties on India in order to curb this funding to Russia. So he also claimed again that he stopped India and Pakistan conflict in May, right? And further, he is also saying that NATO countries have not cut much of the Russian energy and Russian energy products. As a result, he is also asking NATO members to bring down their conflicts, to bring down their energy imports. So overall, Mr. Trump has been reiterating again at the World Stadium or World Podium, saying that he is the person who is responsible to have stopped for almost 6 to 7 wars, and he is also claiming that India is responsible and China is responsible for Russia-Ukraine war funding. India may increase energy efficiency target for COP30, very important news for our energy security or for our GS paper 3 environment, right? So what is this NDC targets? India may increase energy efficiency targets for COP30. Now we all know that in the Paris climate deal, every country has agreed to come out with certain aims to conserve energy, and to conserve or to ensure that climate change is not happening. So the commitment that they have given is through nationally determined contribution. What is the NDCs? So what is NDC? NDCs are renewable energy adaptation goals set by a country as a part of being signatory to the Paris Agreement. This is important. What are NDCs? You have to by heart it. There are renewable energy goals that has to be adapted by the member countries who are signatories to Paris Agreement. So under which countries must regulate their fossil fuel consumption to keep the global warming below 2 degrees centigrade, right? And if as far as possible below 1.5 degrees Celsius to that of pre-industrial levels. So this is what NDCs is. We all know that this is NDCs. Now initially, India has kept some targets. What are the targets that NDCs were kept by India? So NDCs are kept for every 5 years, right? They will be tracking for every 5 years. And India has given commitment to reduce GDP or greenhouse gas emissions intensity by 45% of 2005 levels. So we are going to reduce it by 45%. By 2030, we have committed it. So what is energy emission intensity? Emission intensity means of the GDP refers to amount of carbon emitted per unit of GDP, and it does not mean reduction in the net emissions. So what do you mean by emission intensity? How much amount of carbons you are emitting per every unit of GDP. So if you want to promote GDP, how much carbon you are emitting? That is what emission intensity is. Now, in our last commitments, India has made significant commitments. Now India is expecting to go for further targets. What are the targets that India has accepted already? If you look at the so-called the energy targets that India has kept so far and so forth, these are the energy targets that India has kept. To reduce emission intensities by 33 to 35% from 2005 levels by 2030. So it is going to reduce emission intensities by 33 to 35% from 2005. Achieve 40% non-fossil fuel energy capacity by 2030. Create 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide sink via forest cover. Boost climate resilience in agriculture and water. This was according to 2016. Later, through Panchamrut mission at Glasgow Summit, India has enhanced its targets. So what are the 5 commitments? What are the 5 principles of Panchamrut? Energy capacity. To reach 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuels energy capacity. Renewable energy, to meet 50% of energy requirements through renewable energy sources. Emission reduction, to reduce the total carbon emissions by 1 billion tons. Carbon intensity, to reduce the carbon intensity of the economy by more than 45%. Forest cover, to create an additional sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through forest and tree cover. Now we have also promoted sustainable lifestyle through lifestyle for environment. So these are Panchamrut targets. If you look at it, energy capacity, renewable energy, emission reductions, carbon intensity, forest cover, and net zero emissions. India aims to have net zero emissions by 2070. For that, what are the initiatives that Government of India has taken? Lifestyle for environment, one sun, one world, one grid at the global level. Green steel taxonomy, a step to help decarbonize the emissions intensity in steel sector. Energy conservation bills, enhanced adaptation efforts, and circular economy. So through these measures, India has already committed. Initially in the year 2016, as Paris Climate Deal, NDC was like this. Again, we have enhanced this in Panchamrut, 5 principles. And then again, in this summit, which is going to be started this year at COP30, India is trying to enhance its targets and thereby set a good role model. India is going to be like a role model for other countries as far as energy intensity or energy conservation programs are considered. So here what is important, what is NDC, now where this meeting is going to be held. So COP30 is going to be held in Brazil at Belém, B-E-L-E-M, Belém. COP30 is going to be held at Brazil, Belém. There India is going to further enhance its emission targets or enhance its targets on achieving climate change goals. Next, India is also expected to operationalize the Indian carbon market by 2026. India has recently signed such an agreement called Joint Credit Mechanism with Japan and is in talks with other countries. This is about carbon credit trading. So all these are various commitments that India had done at the global level and various incentives that India is doing in order to promote climate change, to promote conservation of energy, thereby ensure that climate change is not happening at the required pace. So India and China are the primary funders. This is one thing. This is extremely important, guys. One question we can expect from prelims in this. World Bank to fund Telangana, Tamil Nadu villages councils for mangrove plantation. This is important. They can ask directly prelims question here. So mangrove plantation and restoration is an important element of Tamil Nadu Shore Program. SHORE. Shore Program is to conserve mangroves started by Tamil Nadu government. Now, 1,000 hectares of mangroves they wanted to restore. So as a part of Tamil Nadu Coastal Restoration Mission, TN Shore Mission, the World Bank will directly fund village mangrove councils in the state to facilitate bioshield enhancement through mangrove plantation. So World Bank is stepping in and they are going to promote some money. They are going to give some money for the expansion of this program. TN Shore is a 1,674 crore World Bank funded project to strengthen Tamil Nadu coastal resilience and economy. The initiative is aimed at restoring 30,000 hectares of seascapes, safeguarding endangered species such as the turtles and dugongs, and support sustainable practices including ecotourism. So these are what this channel is. So this is important. TN Shore mission, what is it, who is funding it, and mangroves, how it is going to help the so-called the promotion of mangroves in the state. Prelims question can be expected. Criminal past alone cannot be a ground to deny bail. So the Supreme Court of India again has reiterated that bail should be the norm and jail should be only in exceptional cases. The bench headed by Justice Deepankar Datta sets aside a 2024 Kerala High Court decision outturning the bail granted for the 5 RSS workers in the murder of SDPI leader K.S. Shah. Now this is about a certain political event. We are not concerned about this. Just remember, criminal past alone cannot be a ground to deny bail. So just if you have a criminal antecedent, that should not be considered as the only criteria to cancel a bail, which means Supreme Court of India is upholding the rights of individuals to such an extent that bail can be denied, bail can be given even if someone has criminal antecedents. That is what the court is saying, right? So this is following the principle of V.R. Krishna Iyer, Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer principle. Bail being the rule, jail is an exception. So this is the golden rule of bail jurisprudence. Very important. The golden rule for jail jurisprudence is, according to V.R. Krishna Iyer, bail being the rule and jail being an exception. This is what we have. Next, India to hold mega drone drill. So the 3 armed forces of India, Army, Navy and Air Force, will be conducting a joint exercise of mega drone drill known as Cold Start. Important. Cold Start. What is this? This is a joint military exercise of Army, Navy and Air Force to test drones and counter drone systems. Right? Like this. So they are going to test different types of drones that is being used in the war field. So just remember, Cold Start is a joint armed forces operations to test drones and counter drones defense systems. Don't let boundary dispute defy the ties, chase Chinese envoy. So at National Day function, Ambassador Zhu Fiahong says trade between the two nations is up 10% and 2.65 lakh visas were issued to Indians this year. So what they are saying is it has been almost 75 years of good relationship between India and China, and now they are saying that there may be many issues, but one thing that we have to address is we have to ensure that the border disputes are not overhauling or is not engulfing the other relations between India and China. So global governance initiatives, they have to cooperate in various issues, not only on the border issues that they are saying. So let the relationship continue. That is what Chinese envoy is saying. You can use this as a fodder for your GS paper 2 answers. Supreme Court links a sense of stagnation in lower judiciary to long litigations. So why there is stagnation of cases? So the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court, headed by Mr. Gawai, on Tuesday linked the sense of stagnation in subordinate judicial services to prolonged litigation and pendency of Indian courts. So the pendency in district courts is almost 4.69 crore cases. Almost 5 crore cases were pending in the lower courts, according to National Judicial Data Grid. So this should be immediately altered in order to make sure that India basic structure of constitution or judiciary, vibrant judiciary is upheld. So this is what they are saying. So stagnation in lower courts is one of the most important thing for which we are getting some problems in the judiciary. India and Pakistan are continuing its rivalry and they extend airspace closure till October 24th. They have extended the closure of airspace for each other's civilian and military aircraft till October 24th. Just remember, India, Pakistan, we are not allowing the aircraft carriers to be flown between two countries. Penalty in proportion, this is what we have been discussing the other day. Criminal defamation is incompatible with the democratic debate. So yesterday also I was saying defamation is of two types. One is criminal defamation, civil defamation. Criminal defamation in the Subramanya Swamy versus Union of India case 2016, they have said that criminal defamation should be given importance, but now recently the court has said that this should be looked after back, and it has to be not with criminal defamation should not be used that much frequently. That is what the court has said. In this context, they have given this article. So yesterday article continuation. Right to state, this is about recognition of Palestine is more than just symbolic. So we all know that two-state solution is the solution that Palestinians are asking. Israel is openly declaring that this is not going to help. But if you look at recently, United Kingdoms, Italy, United Kingdoms, France, Portuguese, Australia, Canada has come forward and they have said that they are ready for two-state solution. So this is one thing that we are expecting for a very, very long time, and this is going to change the equations in West Asia. Getting GST 2.0 to run like a well-oiled machine. So this article speaks about how GST has to be implemented in the country. Again, this is reiteration of the points that we have discussed so far. No need to go through in depth. How is the jewelry sector coping up with the US tariffs? Just remember that due to US tariffs, Indian exports, particularly the jewelry exports, are getting impacted. Diamonds and jewelries are getting impacted. That is one big problem for Indian industry. Right, that's more enough. Huge scope for Indian tea sector. India has all the ingredients to become the superpower of the tea industry. Right, so India is the second largest producer today and second largest consumer of tea and third largest exporter. Who is the first largest country in tea production? China, followed by India, followed by Kenya. Top three countries are these three. In the export segment, Kenya is the largest exporter, followed by China, followed by India. Kenya is the largest exporter, followed by China, followed by India. India is the third largest exporter. In the consumption of tea, India is consuming second largest consumer of tea. Second largest consumer of tea. The first largest consumption is Turkey. The first largest consumption is Turkey. So this is important that you have to remember. So again I say, India has huge scope, expansion of tea sector. The countries with highest tea production is, first one is China, second is India, third is Kenya. China, India, Kenya is the top producers. In the top exporters, Kenya, China, India is the exporter, top three. Next, in the consumption, Turkey is the first country which is consuming huge amount, followed by India. That is what we have to have. Next is, that is only prelims question. Then we have to look at what are the climatic conditions required for tea production. Iran executed at least 1,000 this year in prison mass killings, says NGO. So crimes against humanity can be considered. You can write this as in essay and ethics. Iran executed at least 1,000 people so far in 2025. Since it is highest in the last 3 decades, mass killing campaign is being found here. So this is one thing. In speech to the United Nations, Mr. Trump accuses global body, that is United Nations, of not living up to its potential. So Mr. Trump has criticized the United Nations, saying that it has huge potential but it is being not utilized, because United Nations General Assembly or United Nations has the primary goal of ensuring to stop the war, but the wars have not been stopped by the United Nations. As a result, he has criticized this institution. So this can be used in international relations. Don't worry, over a period of time, this is an evolving topic. We'll be discussing this further. So continuing with the yesterday's news, Rajnath Singh launches India's first overseas defense facility in Morocco. So I already asked you to look at the borders of Morocco, right? That is most important. So he inaugurated Tata Advanced Systems Limited (TASL) defense manufacturing facility in Morocco, Bericid. Right. This is the first such overseas planned by an Indian firm. Very, very important. That is the reason. So Tatas have collaborated with it, and we have produced this indigenously developed wheeled armored platform. They are going to have it. So this is a historic moment. Just look at Morocco's strategic location, where it is surrounded by some countries, right, like Algeria and Western Sahara and some seas, right. Yesterday I said have a look at it. That is going to be more useful. So what are the countries surrounding? So they can ask only one question from here. Countries surrounding Morocco: Algeria and Western Sahara, Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Ocean with Strait of Gibraltar. These are the things that we have to remember there. World has Chinese model. Now, though Sanjay Baru is speaking about many of the countries are following Chinese model, where they are curbing the freedom of human rights. As a result, they are trying to expand by curbing human rights. So this is what they are speaking. So this is important for PSIR students. Just go through this article. Those who are having PSIR, you have to have a look at it. For the rest of the students, this is not important. So this year's theme of United Nations General Assembly meeting is better together. So the world is getting fragmented. We have to be better together. This is what the article is. So United Nations General Assembly is meeting. You have to know certain terms: Sustainable Development Goals, Small Island Developing States, BRICS, NGOs, LDCs, Least Developed Countries, IFI, international financial institutions like Bretton Woods institutions. Next, multilateralism, multipolarity, multi-stakeholder approach, two-state solution, South-South cooperation, unilateral coercive measures. Just have a look at them. This is going to be useful. You can download this and you can have a look at what is what. Right. Next, top tea producing states: China, India, Kenya. This already I said. India's targets already I have mentioned. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have as far as today's current affairs is considered. As far as today's current affairs is considered, this is what we have in today's current affairs. So, we'll be meeting with the next current affairs very soon. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.